Man, I'm going to be so ruined for July the 4th. I'm going to be like, fireworks. We get fireworks every day on the Erskin Music Show. So if you're joining us today in the Erskin Music Show, then thank you for being out there. And thank you for enjoying fireworks and all the different things that we do here on this show. Let's go, baby. I love it. We're starting to catch our stride. We're in season 4 now of the Erskin Music Show. Season 1, a little shaky, but everybody was at home during the coronavirus pandemic aspect of that. And, so I had one buddy say, I'm just going to give you a pass. I know your show is terrible, but, everybody's show is terrible right now. Season 2, we got a little bit better. We figured out, camera angles, that kind of matters. Lighting, maybe. Season 3, man, we started bringing some fire topics to you. And for you artists that are out there, we picked up the pace. We started bringing on industry professionals, kind of like we are today. Bringing on some industry professionals who have some high quality things that you need to hear if you're an artist that's out there. But for everybody else in the world, I didn't leave you out. Like I'm dealing with the topics of the day. We dealt with deconstruction. We dealt with reconstruction. Well, we hadn't done that one yet, but we did talk about slavery and Black History Month and all those different things. And so the Erskin Music Show is a wide variety of life, culture, and all things that matter. Especially Big Head said, especially, right, Big Head, especially and including Jesus Christ. So let me be good to the subs today. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Yeah, Kezia, you're going to love this show today. You know, my man, Brian is coming on this thing and he goes, whoo. I'm so excited about that. But hey, we got to get to our stuff today. We got to do our thing. If you're watching us on YouTube Live, on Facebook Live, and or Twitter, please remember to subscribe to the channel, enable the notifications. And there should be something that just says, tell your friends about this show so that they can watch it. Man, boom! This is what it's all about. Friends telling other friends about shows like this, and then it starts to grow. And we're all about, hey, at the Erskin Music Show, we are all about organic growth. There are no bots. There's no pre-engineering of things going on here. This is all, we got 768 subscribers, baby. Wait a minute. I think I checked. We might have 769 subscribers on this show. Heartfelt, every single one of them. If you're in India today and you're watching this, man, much love to you. If you're in Canada, oh, Canada. If you're in Africa, all the different places where I'm getting metrics that people are watching this show. Thank you guys so much. Can I just say that? Johnson City, Tennessee, our heart is always with you. The great nation of Texas, we love you as well. That's in the intro, so you guys, you know that. Yeah, let's do our thing today. Did you know? Exactly. I'm just gonna Kezia, I'm just leaving that up there because this is one of those. You just go ahead and archive it. Every once in a while, I'll do a show and I'll say, go ahead and rack that show because that's going to be one that's going to be famous someday. Like today. This is going to be one of those shows that we will rack it just immediately. But did you know? For those of you that have never seen this show before, we do a segment called
That's Weird.
Because, well, the host of the show is a little bit weird, but there are so many weird things that people celebrate every day. Today, it's kind of like Big Head. It's kind of like I get a chance to choose what it is that I want to celebrate and kind of do what it is that I want to do. It's kind of like it's the Erskin Music Show. Because I'm making decisions about what happens on the show and the content of this show, irrespective of what the people want. Because sometimes I'll ask an opinion poll, I'll ask people to comment on stuff. People don't comment on stuff. So I just went ahead and made an executive decision today. Me and my staff right here, we had a meeting and we decided what we're going to celebrate today. So I just want you to know that one of the things we could have celebrated today was Home Warranty Day. It's a national celebration of those who have a home warranty. You know what, guys? I feel like that was a little bit bougie. We're still renters. And so just put it in my face that I've not been able to achieve the quote unquote American dream because I'm still renting. Doggone it, we're not celebrating home warranty day. All right. We could have also celebrated Giving Hearts Day. Well, we're going to celebrate that in 4 days anyway. So I'll just, why? Okay. We're going to reduplicate this. So we didn't celebrate that one either, but I know you guys probably want to celebrate Giving Hearts Day. Give somebody a heart. If that's what you want to do what you need to do. And we could have also celebrated, although we're not going to do it because we're trying to watch our weight on the show, Cream Cheese Brownie Day. Yes, give cream cheese brownies to your friends, your neighbors, anyone that you want. I mean, go ahead, sugar it up today. But we're not celebrating that today. In fact, what we are going to celebrate today is National Umbrella Day. Now, I got a lot of stuff in here, and I chose not to, for specific reasons, bring my umbrella today because you open one of those things up and that's the end of your show. So we're going to celebrate National Umbrella Day. If you're a squirrel out there today and you are experiencing rain, please get under your umbrella so that you do not get rained on today. National Umbrella Day on February the 10th each year. You can celebrate it. You'll be more prepared next year, February 10th, to celebrate Umbrella Day. This might be a shock to you and a surprise. It's actually sunny outside here in Nashville, Tennessee, in the home studios here in the great land of Nashville. But this day honors one of the world's most useful inventions. The link is in the show notes today if you want to read this article in its entirety. But National Umbrella Day keeps us dry from the rain, but it also protects us from the heat and the sun. You can also use an umbrella as a fashion accessory. While the umbrella is primarily a practical tool, it can also be decorated for cocktails. Fashion. See how we did that? While visiting sunny locations, umbrellas have found their way into the art world. Their colors, their shapes, their size, their silhouettes, all those different things serve as a canvas for art. In movies, umbrellas play a role. For example, Singing in the Rain. Do you remember that one? 1952. All right. You might be a little older than me if you remember Singing in the Rain in 1952. I'm just going to have to say. And Mary Poppins, the original version, 1964. Umbrellas were prominent in there. Did you know that the word umbrella comes from a Latin word here? I'm studying. Umbra, meaning shade or shadow, and brale is a slang word for umbrella. Often used in Britain, New Zealand, Australia, South Africa. We got some folks watching here from Africa. Boomershoot is a fanciful Americanism for umbrella, and that comes from the late 19th century. Did you know the basic umbrella was invented over 4,000 years ago, and there was evidence of umbrellas in ancient art in artifacts in Egypt, Assyria, Greece, and China. We can also credit the Chinese for practically every invention, it seems like, when you come to things like this. The Chinese or the English invented practically everything. All right. They were the first to protect us from the rain. Their paper parasols received a layer of wax that was covered by lacquer that made the umbrella withstand the elements. And so thank you again, China. Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, metaverse, world domination. Thanks, China. All right, so let's get out of there. Let's stop sharing that. Let's stop sharing stuff that's weird.
That's weird.
Let's get on to some guests here today. Brian is at the door. He's here.
Yes, sir.
Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Erskin.
How are you today?
I'm doing really well. How about you?
I'm doing well.
We don't need an umbrella today, though, even though it's Umbrella Day.
We do not need the umbrella today. And if you need it to separate you from the sun, you can use it for that purpose, but just enjoy that. Get that vitamin D today, my friend.
Yep, for sure.
All right. Here's what I do when I bring my guests on. I want to read your bio. I'm so glad I got this towel today. I'm just going to be throwing this towel all over the place because you're going to be spitting some hits today. But I'll read a bio for you. And if there's anything that I miss in the bio, because, I have to pare these things down. There's so many accolades that you have here. You're so world renowned that I have to pare this down and just, distill it down. If there's anything that I missed that needs to be said, will you please, please, please come and correct me on this show? I do not want to misrepresent you. But here's the deal. Turning Point PR. Media Relations opened its doors in 1995 in the former RCA recording building in Nashville's historic Music Row. The firm's initial mission to provide full service of public relations for a focused roster of artists and authors whom they respected and believed in and were passionate about has remained the same until this day. Artists like Erskin and Avatarte. That wasn't in there, but I put that in there.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. Add that to the list.
We have been honored to help and introduce and debut artists to the national stage such as Guy Penrod, Christian music's top country vocalists, modern hymn writers Keith and Kristen Getty, 11-time Dove Award winner Selah, and multi-Grammy award-winning Jason Crabb, all who have made immeasurable contributions to Christian music around the globe. Everybody needs a publicist. Welcome, Brian.
Thanks, Erskin.
I know I missed some stuff, so clean that up for me.
No, that was a good start for sure. Yeah, it like you said, we started in 1995. I had worked at record labels for about 10 years prior to that, and my most recent label experience was at Sparrow Records, and I went on a mission trip with a band called PFR that changed my life. And
Pray for rain, baby.
Rain, yeah. I came back from that trip, and God used that to basically begin the journey of starting Turning Point. Took about a year or so, but Turning Point was the result. And just as you read, the mission has always been to work with artists and authors and communicators that we just love and respect. God has been so good to allow that all these years, and we've had so many amazing experiences and working with so many great artists, including yourself. So it's been every day is really an honor to share our artist stories and help them in their ministry. So
really quickly there, as we get into this, and I'll share a little bit about this site. The show notes and the links are up there for you guys. If you should happen to want to get that, but share a little bit about how we actually met one another.
Yeah. So I believe it was, I mean, it feels like it's forever. So, but I think it was four-ish years ago at NRB in Orlando. Could have been five. Was it 5 years ago?
It feels like 5, but maybe it was 4.
Yep. NRB was in Orlando, and I remember spending some time reading the program, and came across a name, Erskin Avatarte, that I hadn't heard before. And in reading your bio, said that you lived in Nashville, and we're centered there. So I remember watching you walk across the lobby, and I chased you a little bit. So we could have a conversation and exchange business cards, and that was the beginning of a great friendship, and I'll always be so thankful for that.
Yes, and I will as well. And it's kind of funny because, I think probably most people out there, they go to the conferences and, you meet people and you exchange information. There's this phenomenon, and I'm sure you've heard of this before, Brian. It's called the Nashville No, where essentially people say, hey, we're going to get together. Can't wait for us to do something, man. We totally got to do something. And then that do something, get together never happens. Like you never hear from that person again. It's almost like the kiss of death. It's called the Nashville No. I got a Nashville No last week. But so I'm thinking, commensurate with the way that typically happens, most of the time you exchange business cards with people and they're like, hey, man, we got to get together. Let's talk some more. And I'm like, yeah, I probably won't see Brian ever again. But then I reached out to you, and then you were like, hey, let's get together. Like, really get together. And
I think I reached out to you first, man. Come on.
Oh, did you?
I'm pretty sure, but it doesn't matter.
Well, I'm so used to Yeah, I'm so used to the
We
Nashville
we were
no.
determined to make it happen, so that's what counts.
Yes. There's something that artists need to hear today, and I'll just give this from my heart to your heart, just to say whether or not you would have followed up with me, and I think you're actually right. I think you actually did follow up with me. I was going to follow up with you anyway. I've got over here, you can't see it over here, but I've got a whole drawer full of business cards. It is the most hideous thing I think you've ever seen before. I keep every one of those business cards, and then after NRB or a conference, whatever I'm at, I will email all of those people and just say, hey, it was great to meet you. I'd love to hear more about what your thing is, or I'd love to share more about what it is that I'm doing. Just a quick email to just follow up with people. You never know what can happen through just following up with people.
That's right.
And so I'll just give that as a little tip there, a little trick of the trade.
Yep, for sure.
Kezia says good morning. She's laughing this morning.
Oh, hi, Kezia. You're doing well.
Yeah, she's great. She was on the show last week co-hosting, and we had
Someone
a good
else
time.
I met at NRB. So some plugs there for NRB. That's a really good place to connect with people.
And so yeah, let's now you do something that I think is pretty interesting. As I was going through your website and looking at all the different artists that you've represented, reading through your bio, you've got a wide variety of artists. It's not just one style or one kind of artist. You've got like diversity kind of built into what it is that you guys are doing. Talk a little bit about that diversity and how you guys see that.
Yeah. So diversity in musical styles is something that's always been really important to me and my associate Emily Cole, who is our vice president.
Emily.
We both love and appreciate so many different styles, within the Christian music umbrella, and we just love getting to work with everything from rap and hard rock to bluegrass and children's music and Southern gospel. We love that rich diversity within Christian music. And I've just been honored to work with so many great artists in each of those styles. Just for example, right now we're working with a bluegrass gospel group that we love out of West Virginia called Chosen Road. The same time we're working with Tasha Layton, who's a Christian pop artist that you may have heard on the radio last couple of years. Worship is a genre that we've always worked in, to some extent. You had mentioned Selah earlier. We were able to be a part of the beginning of their career and many, many albums and years into that career. We worked with the Bethel Music roster several years ago, and right now are representing Elias Dummer, formerly of City Harmonic, and
is Worship. It Dummer or Doomer?
It's Dummer.
Oh, I've always said Doomer.
Elias
I don't
Dummer.
want to call anybody Dummer, but if he wants to call him, well, that's what it is.
That's his name. So, okay. Formerly of the band City Harmonic out of Canada. So yes, we just love the diversity. I got my start in the business in the Southern gospel arena, and we've to this day some of our best friends are artists like the Nealons and Ivan Parker, and just legends in that world. More recently worked with the Irwins. So yeah, we so appreciate what is going on in all those different sectors of Christian music, and there's a important and loyal audience in each of those areas.
Yeah.
And a lot of sometimes there's not enough cross awareness within the church of those areas. I think a lot of people don't know that there's amazing resources for children and families, from artists like Go Fish, and we're honored to work with Shane and Shane right now, and their most recent project is a project for kids and families called Worship in the Word. So some of these resources are not, there's a lot of opportunity for more people to know about them.
Yeah.
Great for folks that love country radio, country music, like myself. Um, we forget that there's, really excellent, Christian artists that can provide an alternative with just as much musical excellence.
Yeah.
So love the diversity. Um, have great friends that are leaders in Christian rap and hip hop.
Yeah, one of the things that's cool about you, Brian, is that you've exposed me to a bunch of groups that I never would have known before, and so I want to thank you for that. You put me on to the guy that plays piano. I'm blanking on his name right now. Who's the writer who stained glass windows? Make it stained glass windows, piece of different shade. I could sing the songs. What's his name?
Daniel Doss.
Daniel Doss. Sorry
Yeah.
about that, Daniel Doss. No
Yep.
disrespect to you
Great,
at
great
all.
talent. Yep.
But
Great.
yeah, you've introduced me to a couple of artists that I don't think our paths would have crossed, or there would have been any type of I hear them on the radio or this that's going on. And so like there's like you were talking about some incredible artists that are out there who just for one reason or another are in positioned in one place in the church. Maybe it's bluegrass, or maybe it's country, or maybe it's children's music, and they're just kind of in that world. So if you're not in that world, there's not that cross pollination that takes place. But man, you guys are so good. I wanted to give you another accolade here. This is a day of accolades. It's a day of celebration, fireworks even. So one of the things that you guys are really good at is, when artists work with you, like I didn't know how full your artist roster was when you guys were working with me on the Is He Worth It project with Nick Ripkin, because every time you guys work with an artist, you guys make that artist feel like you are the only artist in the entire world that we are concerned about. And you guys do that in such a unique and heartfelt way that Emily, please extend to her my gratitude, as you guys kind of walked me through that TBN set that we had there and spending time together. It was just great. Like Tasha Layton is another one of your artists. She was there on stage, and I'm sure that she worked with Love and the Outcome. Is that their name?
Yes, we're big fans of theirs.
Yeah,
But have not worked with them.
But it just seemed like, man, you guys were just so personal and just so endearing. So I just want to thank you for that personally.
Thank you. No, we that just comes naturally. Honestly, we're careful with who we bring on, and we really love each of the people we work with and respect them for what they are. And we keep a pretty focused roster for that reason. There's just two of us here, and we want to be sure that everybody's a priority, and for our sake as well, just keeping balance and work and life. We're sure we try to not overload our roster at any given point, so we can give everybody the attention they deserve.
Now you guys also do some stuff in film as well.
We have in the past, yes. We're so excited to be part of the Russ Taff film that came out a few years ago. Russ was one of the artists that has really impacted me on my journey, was one of the first artists to get me excited about Christian music back when I was in college, and had the opportunity to work with him a little bit when I worked at Sparrow. And then to get to be part of this film with he and his wife Tori was just an honor. We love that season, and if you haven't checked that out, I still believe Russ Taff's story, really personal story, is very powerful. Let's see what other we also worked with Shonda Pierce, the comedian, for a number of years. And during that time, she released several films that did very well as Fathom events, one night onlys in theaters. So we were part of the promotional team for that. So yeah, it's whether it's a music project or a film or a book, a lot of the same work goes into just promoting it and sharing the story. The same contacts for the
Uh-huh.
most part. It just goes back to what's the story, and how can we connect that project with fans out there through the media.
Yeah. Yeah. And I guess I would be a living witness to that, having seen you guys do that before and just kind of evaluate the storyline of, a different project or a different album that you're working on, and then how that connects to people that are out there. It's been tremendous to be able to watch that and then receive feedback from my other friends who are saying things like, wait a minute, how did you get in that magazine? Wait a minute, how did you get on that show? Hey, but it, the proof is in the pudding. Like, you guys know that field, the people that are there. Really quickly, why is it important for artists to have publicity and public relations and the things that you do? Because I think maybe you exist in a category that many people don't think about, because a lot of people have home studios and they think about the process of, hey, I've got a song, I'm going to record it in my home studio, get on DistroKid or TuneCore or something and get my songs out there, and then I'm an artist. Ta-da, I've arrived. But why is it that public relations and publicity is so important?
Yeah, well, it's important just so people can learn about you, and through that, check out your music. And I think in this day and age, when independent artists, independent artistry is so vital and growing, and there's so much opportunity there for independent artists. We love that. We work with a number of independent artists at any given time, and really, it's you know there are all different ways that people can learn and discover that artist's music. And many times it's not the music initially that's the starting place. It might be the artist's story. People may see them on their morning TV show in their market. Good Morning Dallas, something like that. They may
Mm-hmm.
read about them in a magazine. They may read about them in a national newspaper or local newspaper, or they may hear them on a talk radio outlet, like Moody Network's morning show that you're involved with a lot,
Mm-hmm.
Erskin. They may hear the artist's story there, and then be so taken with the story that they then want to check out the music. And what's really great is that it's once you get a fan that way, that it's not just about the current single. If they're moved by your story, they probably will want to check out your whole catalog.
Amen, amen. And I
They
can.
they they become vested in what you're doing. So at the end of the day, PR, public relations is just about telling an artist's story and through the media. And what we do is one thing, but I would say that all artists at wherever they are in their journey and ministry, um, can can use publicity, but you don't need a PR firm necessarily to do it. You can begin, and you should begin, telling your own story.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Beginning with tools that you probably already have, like your website. Have a great bio on there. You're beginning to tell your story that way. Have a short
Mm-hmm.
video where you tell your story, where you introduce yourself. Social
Absolutely.
media, social media is another tool that I'm sure most of the artists that are watching this are already using. Um, but also begin to network with the media in your own area if you haven't already. Get to know the people that write about music or entertainment at the
Mm-hmm.
local newspaper, so that when the next time you do a show, maybe they can write about you. Get to know people at your local radio station. Get to know people that are doing podcasts in your area, so you
Mm-hmm.
can you can be your own publicist. And I think a lot of artists maybe aren't aware of that in the early years of their ministry, but there's a lot you can do
Mm-hmm.
to share your own story.
Man, that is so fantastic. I don't think that I'm overstating the case, because you just proved the point of what you were saying there, when I say that sometimes before people love your music, they have to fall in love with you. through some of my interactions with Moody Radio, I've had some people who have gotten to hear my story and hear me on the radio, and then they've gone back after the fact and then dialed into some of the music that I've written as well. And so I think that that's indicative of what it is that you were talking about there. Just so good, man. This is an instant archive right here. We're
And
gonna
really, Erskine, you know, those are the fans that any artist wants, you know, that aren't just picking up a single, aren't just digging, you know, the latest song, but you know, they basically want to become your friend. You
yeah,
know,
yeah,
they connect with you because of your whole life story, and all the music you've done to that point they're going to be interested in, and all the music you do in the future they're going to be
yeah,
interested in.
yeah, yeah.
So those are the kind of listeners that any artist at any level, you know, wants.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is Brian Smith from Turning Point PR. We've got the information on the screen there for you guys to check out the website. Public relations, publicity. You can do it yourself, and you should start doing it in the early days. Just building in your local market is what he's telling us. And then you should fan out after that and begin to expand those networks in those areas where people get a chance to hear your story. Write your songs, tell your stories, do it well to the
Yep.
glory of God. Did I miss anything, Brian?
Can I recommend a few resources, Erskine?
Absolutely.
People might want to
It's the Brian Show.
people that might want to check out. There's a book that I loved early in my career that I still recommend, by a very famous artist manager named Ken Cragen. Ken managed Kenny Rogers and Lionel Richie and was involved with We Are the World. But he wrote a book called Life is a Contact Sport. And it's all about what Erskine and I are talking about, just simply networking where you are. Very basic grassroots things that we can all do. And I still think of some things that I learned in that book. So I would highly recommend that. There's also a book by our good friend and a veteran, well-respected veteran in the Christian music industry, called How to Make a Living in the Music Business by Vince Wilcox. Vince is currently a professor at Trevecca in the music business program. But a fantastic book. And I'm sure that there's information in there about publicity and PR. But even beyond that, just a fantastic overview of really everything an artist should know as they're getting started, and even beyond that.
Hey man, all right. That's what I'm talking about. Come on, you ain't get some more fireworks from this thing, man. You put books and everything up there. Thank you so much, Brian, for sharing with us some industry, lifestyle things that we can just all take with us today. If you're an artist and you're watching this today, there should be no reason why you go away from the Erskin Music Show today impoverished. We've feed me till I won't no more. Brian has just been giving us some great information. He's got a great shirt on today, and yeah, he's a great friend of ours, friend of the show, friend of mine personally, and reach out to him. He's available through the contacts that's there on the screen.
Thanks for having me, Erskine.
All right, my friend. You have a fantastic day, and we'll talk soon, I'm sure.
All right. You too. Take care.
Right. Bye-bye. That was Brian Smith, Turning Point PR. He was dropping some dimes today. Now you see, people. Now you see what this show is all about. We bringing the best of the best of the best of the best on this show. And if you're an artist like myself, Erskin Music Show, get it? You're able to just kind of watch this thing grow. People are wondering all the time, how did you do this, or where do you find this? And instead of me just doing a masterclass, which at some point we are going to jump on Patreon or Kajabi and do something like that and compile a lot of these teachings for artists. But until then, keep tuning in every once in a while to the Erskin Music Show. We're going to have guests on that are in the music industry. We're going to have guests on from a variety of different things because I'm eclectic. I'll be over here one day and then I'll be talking about NASA because they just, I think the Homeland, we just got a UFO investigation committee that like is an actual paid thing in the Senate just approved the budget for that. And so I'll be talking about that someday. So just keep tuning into the Erskine Music Show. We're in season 4 now. Life is like a box of chocolates on this show. You never know, big head, what you're going to get when you come to this show. But that was Brian Smith, Turning Point PR, instant archive. I told you guys. See, didn't I tell you? Didn't I tell you? I told you we would break records today. So tell all your friends about this. If you're an artist, please share the wealth. And if you're a subscriber, please let people know that they can subscribe to this channel. Yeah, you can do it. It's true. On YouTube Live, Facebook Live, and Twitter, you can subscribe and enable the notifications. All right, so before we get out of here, it is the Erskine Music Show. I got a song called Circles that I need you guys to hear. I need you to hear it because it's a good song. So Circles, and then I'm going to give a couple of quick announcements, and then we be out for today.
Got my attention to hear what you say. I've been listening closely so I don't miss a word. No, I can't go back where I was before. I'm moving forward, chasing so much more. So much more. I started coming alive, setting the world on fire. Nothing can stop me now. My past won't hold me down. No more going in circles, blazing another path, and I'm not going back. No, no more going in circles. No more going in circles.
Still getting stronger, stronger every day. Emotions that held me don't hold me anymore. No, I can't go back where I was before. I'm moving forward, chasing so much more, so much more. I started coming alive, setting the world on fire.
Nothing can stop me now. My past won't hold me down. No more going in circles, blazing another path, and I'm not going back. No, no more going in circles. I'm not going in circles. No more going in circles. You give the strength to change, can't put out this flame. No, you give the strength to change, can't put out this flame. No.
Nothing can stop me now. My past won't hold me down.
No more going in circles, blazing another path, and I'm not going back. No, no more going in circles, round and round and round, round and round and round, round and round and round, round and round and
Let's land the plane today. It has been the Erskine Music Show, Chronicle edition today. So next week we'll be on location, several sites there. So it'll be a little bit of a traveling show next week, but we'll still try to keep the quality up. You'll probably just get the broadcast from my living room set, virtual background. Nonetheless, we'll have some incredible guests that are coming on next week. I think we've got Kim Pennington coming on next week to co-host with me. That's going to be a lot of fun because we're going to mix it up on the show. Remember to subscribe to the show, like the show, tell your friends about the show. I wanted to make sure that I commented on this before because over here in this corner, there is this fair use warning that lets people know that all the images, graphics, songs, and critiques, commentary today are under the category of fair use. So there's no reason for you guys to get in contact with me and tell me, hey, you use that illegally. No, we can use those images and do the things that we've done on this show, citing fair use. So it has been the Erskin Music Show. Thank you guys so much for joining in. Your comments are always welcome, and they can stay up all the way until the end of the show. Now, for those of you who watch this show in several different time zones, actually delayed, I always appreciate when you guys come on and comment. It does touch the algorithm to some extent. And so comment away. We usually go back and watch these shows and make sure that we didn't miss anything. And so if you're out there and you have some comments to make for the show, please remember to do that. It has been the Erskin Music Show. Thank you guys so much. God bless and have a fantastic day.